Hello, and welcome back to Red Gaming Tech for yet more of your daily gaming news with myself, Marta. This time, on the 3rd of October, I'm bringing you something a little bit different. Sony Worldwide Studios boss Shuhei Yoshida has actually praised Microsoft's willingness to change the Xbox One's DRM and always online policies in response to the negative reactions that they've got en masse following its reveal. And this was when he was speaking to Games Industry International, and he said, quote, "We know they're very smart people. It's great that they were able to quickly realize some of the things they were doing were not popular, and were able to make really quick decisions to change some of those things. Even things that the engineering group must have spent a lot of time preparing before the launch. It must have been a very tough time for them. That shows how smart they are, and it shows their dedication to making the Xbox One successful." Now, of course, following the E3, there were a few tongue-in-cheek videos made from Sony that did actually poke fun at the Xbox One initially restrictive used games policies, and of course a fair few other small jabs that were taken at Microsoft. However, Yoshida did insist, quote, "We never took them lightly, especially in the States. We are the challenger. We're trying to compete with them. Some of the messaging that they stumbled on just gave us more chances to compete with them in the States. Our markets are very different. In Europe, we have a larger market share, and in Japan, we have a much longer history of being there. Being consistent and persistent helps. The legacy and people's associations with the brand, the memories of having a great time before." Now, when Yoshida was actually asked to define the PS4's distinguishing features, Yoshida said, quote, "PS4 is really designed for consumers and focused on how people want to play games. At the same time, we've really made sure that it's hardware which developers will enjoy making games on. The ease of use, the performance, it's very powerful hardware. We believe this is the most powerful console ever made. The content, the games available, the usage of PS4 surrounding games, that's the message we've been communicating and will continue to do that." So there you have it, straight from Yoshida's mouth. He is praising Microsoft for their choices made on the Xbox One, and in all fairness, they do deserve some for that. Now, you could argue that they shouldn't have tried to go with the DRM and always online requirements at all, and yeah, that's kind of up to your personal preference as to whether or not you agree with that, but you have to give them some respect for listening to their customers and potential customers as well. Because obviously the reaction to the Xbox One's DRM and used game policies that it had when it was first revealed, of course, they have long since been removed, was not exactly positive by any stretch of the imagination. The reaction was very loud and very clear of "Get this out of the Xbox One. We do not want this in our console." And they listened. Even though they must have spent lots of time, money and effort figuring out, okay, we want to make this machine, this is our vision. How can we make this work? And then they put those features in, and it probably wasn't easy for them to say, right guys, this is what's happened. We need to seriously consider taking these options out. That couldn't have been an easy decision to make. And of course, it took them a while before they did it, but they have done it. And I think Yoshida was, very kind and very wise to say that yes, they do deserve some praise and acknowledgement for that. Now, of course, there is very much a battle between these two monoliths of Sony versus Microsoft in terms of the next console generation, but that doesn't mean we can't have some camaraderie and a little bit of respect between these two, rather than just the PR hype train and all of that good stuff. Now, Sony did poke fun at them a little bit, as I said previously, but Yoshida has given them a well-deserved pat on the back for making what must have been a very difficult decision indeed. Anyway, that is me done for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.